When I found out my wife, Jane, the unyielding warden of Blackwood Penitentiary, was infected with HIV by an inmate she'd secretly loved, the life we built shattered, leaving me to face a murder that tore our world apart. I thought I knew her. Jane, my wife, the woman who could light up a room with a single glance, who carried herself like she could bend the world to her will. I thought I understood her. 12 years ago, when we met, I was just a mechanic, my hands always stained with grease, my life small but steady. I liked it that way, simple, predictable. But Jane, she was fire, ambitious, fierce. A new corrections officer at Blackwood Penitentiary, her eyes burning with purpose when she talked about justice, about making a difference in a broken system. I fell for her hard. She wasn't just my world, she was my everything. I thought I understood her. We met at a diner, of all places. I was nursing a coffee. She was grabbing lunch between shifts. She sat across from me, her uniform crisp, her smile easy. We talked for hours, the world fading away. She told me about Blackwood, about the inmates, the guards, the weight of it all. I listened, hooked on every word. She wasn't like anyone I'd ever met. Strong, driven, alive in a way that made me feel more alive. I thought I understood her then, in those early days, when love was new and nothing seemed impossible. 2 years later, we stood in a small church, her in a white dress that flowed like a dream, me in a suit that pinched at the shoulders. I couldn't stop staring at her. She laughed when I fumbled my vows, her eyes soft, promising forever. We bought a house, a modest place on the edge of town, with a sagging porch we swore we'd fix someday. We'd sit out there at night, sipping beers, dreaming aloud. Kids, a dog, vacations to places we'd never been. It felt real. It felt right. I thought I understood her. Jane climbed the ranks at Blackwood faster than anyone expected. By her early 30s, she was warden, the youngest in the prison's history. The town buzzed with it. The local paper ran a story. Iron Lady of Blackwood, Jane Collins takes charge. I remember her reading it at the kitchen table, her coffee cooling, a faint smile tugging at her lips. She laughed off the nickname, but I saw the pride in her eyes, the way she sat a little straighter. She was in control, always, or so I thought. Blackwood was a beast, a maximum security fortress where power and fear twisted together like vines. She was its tamer, or so the world believed. I believed it too. I thought I understood her. But Blackwood wasn't just a job. It was a world of its own, a place of secrets and shadows, guards who looked the other way, inmates who played games with lives, bureaucrats who cared more about budgets than people. Jane rarely talked about it. She'd come home, kick off her boots, and pour a glass of wine, her shoulders heavy with something she wouldn't name. "How was work?" I'd ask, trying to reach her. "Long," she'd say, her voice flat. "Just long." I didn't push. I didn't want to. I trusted her. I thought I understood her, didn't I? Looking back, I see the cracks now, the ones I missed then. The way her laughter grew rarer, her eyes less bright. She'd always been guarded, but it was different after she became warden. She'd sit on the couch, staring into her wine glass, her fingers tracing the rim like she was searching for answers in the red. I'd watch her, wondering what she wasn't saying. Was it the stress? The responsibility? Or something else? Something darker? I told myself it was the job. Blackwood was a pressure cooker, and she was in the thick of it. I didn't ask questions. I didn't want to know. I thought I understood her. We kept up the routine. I'd fix cars at the shop, come home smelling of oil, and she'd be there, or not, depending on the day. When she was home, we'd cook dinner, her chopping vegetables, me burning the garlic bread. We'd laugh, or try to. But there were moments, fleeting but sharp, when I'd catch her staring out the window, her mind somewhere else, somewhere I couldn't follow. I'd ask if she was okay. "Fine," she'd say, her voice clipped. "Just tired." I believed her. I had to. I thought I understood her. The truth is, I was blind. Love does that. It wraps you in warmth, makes you miss the cold creeping in. Jane was my anchor, my fire, my reason. I built my life around her, around us. The house, the dreams, the plans. They were ours. But Blackwood was hers alone. I didn't know what it was doing to her, what it was turning her into. I didn't see the secrets piling up, the lies waiting to spill. I thought I understood her. I thought trust was enough. But trust? It's like a rope stretched too tight. One pull, and it snaps. I remember one night, early on, before the cracks showed. We were on the porch, the air warm, the stars bright. She leaned against me, her head on my shoulder. "I'm doing good, Mark," she said. "At Blackwood. I'm making things better." Her voice was soft, certain. I believed her. I felt proud. I thought I understood her. But that was before the late nights, the locked phone, the name that would haunt me. J. Carter. That was before the world we built started to crumble. Blackwood changed her. Or maybe it revealed her. I don't know. I just know that the Jane I married, the one who laughed at my bad jokes, who dreamed of a family, who looked at me like I was enough, she started slipping away. And I didn't see it. Not then. I was too busy loving her, too busy trusting her. I thought I understood her. I thought our life was solid, unshakable. But Blackwood was a shadow, creeping closer, and I was too blind to notice. I thought I understood her. Didn't I? The first hint came in small things. Her boots by the door, caked with mud she never used to track in. The way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly, like she was guarding something. The phone call she'd take in the garage, her voice low, hurried. I'd ask who it was. "Work," she'd say, her eyes not meeting mine. I wanted to believe it was nothing, just the job, just the stress. But doubt is a seed, and once it's planted, it grows. I started watching her closer, noticing the way her hands shook sometimes, the way she'd pause before answering my questions. I thought I understood her, but understanding? It's a fragile thing, and mine was already breaking. By the time I saw the name, J. Carter, on her phone, the seed had taken root. It was just a glimpse, a text notification before she snatched the phone away. "Who's that?" I asked, my voice casual, my heart pounding. "Work stuff," she said. Too quick, too sharp. I nodded, let it go. But that name stuck with me. A splinter I couldn't pull out. I told myself it was nothing. She was a warden. She dealt with dozens of people, guards, inmates, officials. J. Carter could have been anyone. But deep down, I knew. Something was wrong. I thought I understood her. I didn't. It started in the fall of 2022. Jane changed. Not all at once. Not in a way you could pin down, but in the quiet, creeping way that makes you question your own eyes. She started staying late at work. Meetings, she said. Inmate disputes. Budget cuts at Blackwood Penitentiary. I nodded, took her at her word. I trusted her. I thought I understood her. But the late nights stretched into weekends. She'd come home long after dark, her face drawn, her eyes distant, like she was carrying a weight I couldn't see. "You okay?" I'd ask, my voice soft, careful. "I'm fine, Mark," she'd snap, her tone sharp enough to cut. "Just leave it." I did. I let it go. But something in me stirred. A flicker of unease I couldn't shake. I thought I understood her. Jane, my wife. The woman who'd climbed from corrections officer to warden in less than a decade. The Iron Lady of Blackwood, the papers called her. She was fierce, in control, the kind of person who could stare down a room full of hardened criminals and not blink. But that fall, I saw cracks, small ones at first. She'd sit at the kitchen table, her dinner untouched, her fingers tapping restlessly. She'd laugh less, her warmth replaced by a quiet edge. I told myself it was the job. Blackwood was a beast, a place where power and fear twisted together like barbed wire. Being warden meant carrying that weight every day. I thought I understood her. I thought it was just stress. Then I noticed the phone. It was always locked now. A passcode where there'd never been one before. She'd take calls in the garage, her voice low, hurried, like she didn't want me to hear. I'd stand in the kitchen, listening to the muffled cadence of her words, catching fragments that meant nothing but felt like everything. One night, I saw a text flash on her screen before she snatched it away. Just a name, J. Carter. No message, no context, just those two words burning into my brain. "Who's that?" I asked, keeping my voice light, my heart thudding. "Work," she said, her eyes sliding away from mine, her fingers tightening around the phone. My stomach twisted. Something was wrong. I thought I understood her. Didn't I? J. Carter. That name lodged in my mind like a splinter, sharp and impossible to ignore. I told myself it was nothing. She was a warden. She dealt with dangerous people every day, guards with grudges, inmates with schemes, officials with agendas. J. Carter could have been anyone. A co-worker, a contact. But the secrecy, the way she hid her phone, the way her eyes darted when I asked, it ate at me. I started watching her closer, noticing things I'd missed before. Her perfume smelled different sometimes, sharper, like it was masking something else. Cologne, maybe. Not mine. I'd catch it when she brushed past me, a faint trace that didn't belong. I'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, the clock ticking past midnight, then 1, then 2. Was I crazy? Was I seeing things that weren't there? I loved her. I trusted her. But trust, it's a fragile thing, and mine was starting to crack. I thought I understood her. I'd built my life around that understanding, around us. The house with the sagging porch, the dreams of kids, the quiet nights when we'd sit together, her hand in mine. But now, those moments felt like memories from someone else's life. Jane was slipping away, and I didn't know why. I'd watch her in the mornings, getting ready for work, her movements precise but mechanical. She'd tie her hair back, slip on her warden's uniform, and become someone else. Someone I didn't fully recognize. I'd ask about her day, hoping for a glimpse of the old Jane, the one who'd talk and laugh and let me in. "It's fine," she'd say, her voice flat. "Just work." I stopped asking. I stopped trying to understand, but the questions kept coming, piling up like debts I couldn't pay. I started noticing more. Her boots, once polished to a shine, were scuffed now, caked with mud from places I didn't know she went. She'd come home with her jaw tight, her hands fidgeting, like she was holding something back. I'd catch her staring out the window, her eyes fixed on nothing, her mind somewhere I couldn't follow. Once I found a receipt in her jacket pocket, a bar I'd never heard of, a town near Blackwood. I asked her about it, casual, like it didn't matter. "Work thing," she said, too quick, her voice sharp. I nodded, let it go. But that splinter, J. Carter, the locked phone, the cologne, it grew sharper. I thought I understood her. I didn't. The nights were the worst. I'd lie in bed, her side empty, the house too quiet. I'd replay every moment, every glance, every clipped word. Was it the job? Was Blackwood breaking her? Or was it something else, something I was too afraid to name? I wanted to confront her, to grab her by the shoulders and demand answers. Who was J. Carter? Why the secrets? Why the distance? But fear stopped me. Not of her anger, not of a fight, but of what I'd find. What if the truth was worse than the doubt? What if the woman I loved, the woman I thought I understood, was someone else entirely? So I stayed silent. I watched. I waited. I told myself I was being paranoid, that love meant trust, that I understood her. But deep down, I knew something was breaking. Something was wrong. I started keeping track. Not on purpose, not at first. Just mental notes. The nights she stayed late. The calls she took in the garage. The way her eyes avoided mine when I asked about her day. I'd drive by Blackwood sometimes, not sure why, just needing to see the place that was stealing her from me. The prison loomed like a fortress, its walls gray and cold, its gates topped with razor wire. I'd sit in my truck, watching the guards change shifts, wondering what went on inside, wondering who J. Carter was. I thought I understood her. I thought I could hold on. But trust is a rope stretched too tight, and I could feel it fraying. By November, the distance between us was a chasm. We still lived together, ate together, slept in the same bed. But it wasn't the same. She'd smile sometimes, a ghost of the old Jane, and I'd cling to it, hoping it meant something. But then she'd pull away, her phone buzzing, her eyes darting to the screen. I'd ask, "Everything okay?" She'd nod, say, "Yeah, just work." But her voice was hollow, her hands restless. I thought I understood her. I thought love was enough. But love blinds you, makes you miss the cracks until they're too wide to ignore. And that name, J. Carter, was a crack I couldn't unsee. I was losing her. I knew it, felt it in my bones, but I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to ask the questions that burned in my chest. Who was he? What was she hiding? Why was she pulling away? I thought I understood her. I thought I could fix it, but I was wrong. And soon, everything would break. It was a Wednesday in March 2023, a day that started like any other but ended with my world in pieces. Jane called me at work, her voice trembling, not like her at all. "Mark, come to the hospital, please." The words hit like a punch. I dropped everything, my hands shaking as I grabbed my keys. My mind raced, conjuring every nightmare Blackwood Penitentiary could hold. Was she attacked? Hurt? Stabbed by some inmate who'd slipped past the guards? Blackwood was a cage of predators, and Jane was its warden, its keeper. I sped through red lights, my heart pounding, bracing for the worst. I thought I understood her. I thought I knew what her job demanded. But I was wrong. At the hospital, I found her in a sterile room, sitting on a bed, her face ashen, her hands clutching the sheets so tightly her knuckles were white. A doctor stood nearby, his expression heavy, his clipboard clutched like a shield. "What's wrong?" I asked, my voice barely steady. Jane wouldn't look at me. Her eyes were fixed on the floor, her jaw tight. The doctor cleared his throat, his voice clinical but heavy. "Mr. Collins, your wife has tested positive for HIV." The words landed like a blade, sharp and cold, cutting through everything I knew. HIV, Jane, my Jane, the woman who was careful, disciplined, the Iron Lady of Blackwood. I stared at her, waiting for her to deny it, to explain, to say something, anything. But she stayed silent, her hands twisting the sheets, her eyes still down. I thought I understood her. I didn't. IV! The word echoed in my head, slicing through the life we'd built. Jane wasn't reckless. She wasn't an addict. She didn't share needles or live some double life. How? My mind scrambled for answers, grasping at straws. Maybe a workplace accident, a needle stick, a fight gone wrong. But her silence told a different story. The doctor kept talking. Medication, viral loads, life expectancy. But his words were noise, a distant hum. I couldn't hear him over the roar in my head. I looked at Jane, waiting for her to meet my eyes, to give me something to hold on to. She didn't. In that silence, I understood. This wasn't random. This wasn't an accident. This was betrayal. I thought I understood her. I'd spent years believing in her. In us. The nights on our porch, planning a future. The mornings when she'd kiss me goodbye before heading to Blackwood. The way she'd laugh, her eyes bright, her strength unshakable. But now, sitting in that hospital room, I saw a stranger. Her silence was a wall, and I was on the wrong side. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my voice wouldn't come. I just stood there, frozen, the truth sinking in like poison. I thought I understood her. I thought love was enough. But love, it's a fragile thing, and mine was breaking. For days, she wouldn't talk. I begged, shouted, pleaded until my voice was raw. I'd pace our house, the creaky floors mocking me, the walls closing in. "Jane, tell me what happened," I'd say, my hands shaking. She'd sit on the couch, her eyes hollow, her lips pressed tight. I thought about leaving, about walking away from the pain, but I couldn't. I needed to know. I needed to understand. Finally, on the fourth night, she cracked. We were in the kitchen, the air heavy, the clock ticking too loud. "It was a mistake," she whispered, her voice so soft I barely heard it. I was weak. My stomach dropped. I thought I understood her. I didn't. She told me his name. J. Carter. James Carter. Not just a name from a text, not just a shadow in my mind. He was an inmate at Blackwood, a lifer, armed robbery, assault, a rap sheet that stretched back decades. Charismatic, manipulative, dangerous, and my wife, my Jane, had been sleeping with him. The words hit like a fist, knocking the air from my lungs. I stared at her, waiting for her to take it back, to say it was a lie. But her eyes, red and wet, told the truth. She'd been with him. Not once, not a fleeting mistake, but for months. I thought I understood her. I was wrong. She said it started a year ago, in the spring of 2022. Carter was different, she said. Charming, attentive. He listened when she felt invisible, when the weight of Blackwood, its politics, its chaos, made her feel small. Late-night talks in his cell, when the prison was quiet, turned into stolen moments in empty offices. She thought she was in control, the warden calling the shots, the one with the power. But Carter? He was the one pulling strings, playing her like a game he'd mastered long before. She swore she tried to end it, to walk away, but he had a hold on her, a hold she couldn't break. I listened, my hands clenched, my heart shattering with every word. I thought I understood her. I didn't. Anger burned through me, hot and wild. I wanted to scream, to tear the kitchen apart, to find this man and make him pay. But the pain was worse, a deep, aching wound that swallowed the rage. I saw her with him, this criminal, this monster, while I was home, fixing her car, cooking her dinner, believing in our life. I saw them in those offices, those cells, while I slept alone, trusting her. She swore it was over, swore she'd cut him off months ago. But the damage was done. HIV, a life sentence for her, for us. And Carter? He knew he was positive. He'd known all along, known and never told her, known and let her fall. I thought I understood her. I thought I knew her heart, but her heart had been his, and now it was broken, and so was mine. I couldn't look at her without seeing him. Every touch, every glance was tainted. I'd lie awake at night replaying her words, picturing them together. The Iron Lady, undone by a con. I wanted to hate her, to walk away and never look back. But love doesn't work like that. It clings, even when it hurts. I thought about Blackwood, about its walls, its secrets. I thought about Carter, his smirk, his lies. I thought about Jane, my Jane, and how I'd lost her long before that hospital room. I thought I understood her. I didn't. And now, understanding was a weight I couldn't carry. I tried to hold it together. For her, for us. She started treatment, pills, appointments, endless tests. She'd sit at the table, staring at the orange bottles, her face blank. "I'm sorry," she'd say, her voice small. "I'll fix this." But how do you fix a lie that big? How do you rebuild when the foundation's gone? I'd nod, say it was okay, but it wasn't. I thought I understood her. I thought trust could survive. But trust? It's a fragile thing, and ours was shattered. The truth was out, but it wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of something darker. We tried to move on. Tried to stitch our lives back together after the hospital, after the truth about Jane's affair, after the word HIV carved itself into our future. Jane started treatment. Pills swallowed with water, appointments that stretched into hours, blood tests that left her bruised and quiet. She apologized, her voice breaking, tears streaming down her face. "I'll fix this, Mark," she'd say, her hands reaching for mine. "I'll make it right." But how do you fix a lie that big? How do you rebuild when the foundations crumbled to dust? I'd look at her, my Jane, and see him. James Carter. His shadow poisoned everything. Every touch, every quiet moment, every breath we shared. I thought I understood her. I thought we could survive this. But understanding, it was gone. And so was the man I used to be. I couldn't let it go. The truth about Carter, about what he'd done to her, to us, was a splinter under my skin, festering. I needed to know who he was. What kind of monster could unravel my wife, my life? I started digging, late at night when Jane was asleep, her breathing uneven from the weight of her guilt. I scoured prison records, public files, anything I could get my hands on. I called in favors, pestered old contacts, even paid a guy at the courthouse for access to sealed documents. James Carter wasn't just an inmate. He was a predator. Smart. Cunning. A lifer with a rap sheet of armed robbery, assault, and worse. He'd manipulated guards before, weaseled out of punishments with a smile and a lie. He had a gift for finding weaknesses, for bending people to his will. And Jane, she was his masterpiece. I thought I understood her. I didn't. I understood him now, and that was worse. The more I learned, the more I hated him. Carter wasn't just a fling, a mistake. He'd targeted her, seen her strength, and turned it against her. He'd played on her stress, her loneliness, her need to be seen. Every detail I uncovered fueled the fire in my chest. A disciplinary report from 5 years ago. Carter charming a guard into smuggling contraband. A psych evaluation calling him calculating, highly manipulative. A medical file buried deep, confirming he'd known about his HIV status for years. Years. He'd known and never told her. He'd infected her, my Jane, and walked away with that smug grin I imagined every night. Something snapped in me. I wanted to face him. I wanted to make him feel the pain he'd caused. Her pain, my pain, our pain. I thought I understood her. I thought I could protect her. But all I understood was rage. Jane saw it in me. The way my hands shook when I talked about Blackwood. The way my voice hardened when I said his name. "Mark, stop!" she'd beg, her eyes wide, her voice trembling. "It's done. It's over. Let it go." But how could I? How do you let go of a betrayal that's still burning through your life? How do you forget a man who took everything? I'd nod, tell her I'd try, but the lie was bitter on my tongue. I couldn't stop. I couldn't let it go. I understood now. I understood everything. Her weakness, his cruelty, the poison that had seeped into our marriage. And that understanding was a weight, pulling me down, deeper into something I didn't recognize. I started driving to Blackwood. Not every day, not at first. Just once or twice a week, when the anger wouldn't let me sleep. I'd park across from the prison, the razor wire fences gleaming under the floodlights, the guard towers looming like sentinels. I'd sit in my truck, gripping the steering wheel, staring at the gates. I told myself I was checking on Jane, making sure she was safe. But it wasn't about safety. It was about him. Carter. I'd imagine him in his cell, laughing, plotting, living while we suffered. I'd imagine walking through those gates, finding him, making him pay. The thoughts scared me, but they felt right. I thought I understood her. I thought I was protecting her. But I was protecting nothing. I was chasing revenge. Friends noticed the change. "You okay, Mark?" they'd ask at the shop, their eyes lingering on my hollow cheeks, my restless hands. I'd shrug, say I was fine, but they knew. The easygoing mechanic, the guy who'd crack jokes over a beer, was gone. I stopped sleeping, the nights filled with questions I couldn't answer. Why her? Why him? Why us? I'd pace the house, the creaky floors groaning under my steps, Jane's pill bottles lined up on the counter like accusations. I'd pore over Carter's files again, memorizing every detail, every crime, every lie. He was a ghost in my mind, haunting me as much as he haunted her. I thought I understood her. I thought I could fix this, but there was no fixing it, only falling. Jane tried to pull me back. One night she grabbed my hands, her eyes desperate. "Mark, you're scaring me," she said. "You're not yourself." I wanted to tell her I didn't know who I was anymore. The man who loved her, who trusted her, was gone, replaced by someone consumed by anger, by questions. I pulled away, my voice cold. "I need to know," I said. "I need to understand." She shook her head, tears falling. "You can't," she whispered. "You won't." I thought I understood her. I thought I could find the truth. But the truth was a trap, and I was already caught. From the outside, it was clear I was unraveling. The man who'd once laughed easily, who'd spent Sundays tinkering with engines, was a shadow of himself. Friends stopped asking questions, their concern turning to distance. I didn't care. I didn't need them. I needed answers. I'd drive to Blackwood, park in the same spot, and watch. Sometimes I'd see Jane's car in the lot, and I'd wonder what she was doing inside, if she was near him, if she still felt him. The thought made my blood boil. I'd grip the steering wheel until my knuckles ached, my mind racing with plans I'd never admit. I told myself I was protecting her, saving her from Blackwood's grip. But it was more. It was rage. It was revenge. I thought I understood her. I thought I could hold on. But I was slipping, and I didn't know how to stop. By spring, the anger was all I had. Jane went back to work, saying she needed normalcy, needed to reclaim her life. I hated it. Blackwood was a snake pit, and Carter was still there, alive, breathing, while we drowned. I begged her to quit, to walk away. "I can't," she said. her voice firm but brittle. "I'm still the warden." I didn't argue. I didn't have the strength. I just kept digging, kept driving, kept watching. I thought I understood her. I thought I could save us, but I was wrong. And soon, everything would break. 6 months after the hospital, after the truth about Jane's affair and her HIV diagnosis tore our world apart, she went back to work. She said it was for normalcy, to reclaim her life, to prove she was still the Iron Lady of Blackwood Penitentiary. I hated it. Blackwood was a snake pit, a place of shadows and secrets. And James Carter was still there, alive, breathing, haunting us. I begged her to quit, to walk away from the prison and its poison. "I can't," she said, her voice firm but brittle. "I need this, Mark. I need to be me again." I didn't argue. I didn't have the strength. I let her go. I had to. But every time she walked out the door, a piece of me broke. I thought I understood her. I thought I could protect her. I was wrong. Then, one night in September 2023, she didn't come home. I waited, the clock ticking past 8, then 9, then 10. Her phone went straight to voicemail, a cold, mechanical voice mocking my growing panic. I called Blackwood, my hands shaking as I dialed. No answer. Just a recorded message about restricted hours. My heart pounded, my mind racing with every horror Blackwood could hold. Was she hurt? Attacked? Had Carter done something? I grabbed my keys and drove, the road blurring, my pulse a drumbeat in my ears. I thought I understood her. I thought I knew her strength. But fear was all I had now, and it was clawing at me. When I reached Blackwood, the prison loomed under a gray sky, its gates locked, its floodlights harsh. A guard at the entrance looked uneasy, his eyes darting away from mine. "There's been an incident," he said, his voice low. "You need to wait." Wait? For what? My stomach twisted, the word incident, a knife in my gut. I demanded answers, my voice rising. But he just shook his head, told me to stay back. Police cars rolled in, their lights flashing, officers swarming the entrance. I stood there, helpless, my mind spiraling. Was it Jane? Was she hurt? Dead? I thought I understood her. I thought I could hold on. But I was losing her, and I didn't know why. Hours later, they told me. James Carter was dead, stabbed in his cell. A shiv, crude and sharp, buried in his chest. The prison was on lockdown, guards barking orders, inmates sealed in their blocks. Jane was in an office, being questioned. I waited, my hands clenched, my breath shallow. When they finally let me see her, she was pale, her hands shaking, her warden's uniform wrinkled like she'd been through a storm. She looked at me, her eyes wide, desperate. "I didn't do it," she whispered. "Mark, I swear." Her voice broke, and for a moment I saw the woman I married, not the stranger she'd become. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to hold her, to tell her it would be okay. But I couldn't. I thought I understood her. I didn't. The evidence piled up, heavy and unrelenting. Her fingerprints were found on a file cabinet near Carter's cell, smudged but unmistakable. Security footage showed her in his block that night, her face tense, her steps quick. Whispers spread among the guards, rumors of her affair, her shame, the scandal that had unraveled the Iron Lady. The police didn't believe her denials. They said she had motive, means, opportunity. Carter had betrayed her, infected her, humiliated her. A woman scorned, they called her. A warden who'd lost control. I listened to their questions, their accusations, and felt the ground shift beneath me. Jane swore she'd gone to his cell to confront him, to end his threats, his blackmail. But someone else got there first, she said. Someone else held the shiv. I wanted to believe her. I tried. But doubt was a poison, and it was spreading. I thought I understood her. I thought I knew her heart. But her heart was a mystery now, and I was drowning in it. The days that followed were a blur. Police interviews, reporters circling, the town buzzing with gossip. Jane was suspended from Blackwood, her badge stripped, her reputation in tatters. I'd sit in our house, the creaky floors silent, her pill bottles on the counter like a reminder of everything we'd lost. I'd replay her words, "I didn't do it," and try to find the truth in them. But the evidence was loud, louder than her voice. The fingerprints, the footage, the whispers. I'd close my eyes and see Carter, his smug grin, his hands on her. I'd see Jane, her face hard, a shiv in her hand. Had she done it? Had she snapped, driven by rage or shame? Or was it someone else, an inmate with a grudge, a guard covering their tracks? I didn't know. I still don't. I thought I understood her. I thought trust could survive. But trust? It's a fragile thing, and ours was gone. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to see the woman I married. The one who laughed on our porch, who dreamed of kids, who looked at me like I was enough. But every time I looked at her, I saw him, Carter. His shadow was everywhere. In her eyes, her silence, the life we'd lost. I'd lie awake at night, the questions burning. Had she killed him? Was it revenge for what he'd done? Or was Blackwood's darkness deeper, a web of secrets we'd never untangle? I'd drive to the prison sometimes just to sit outside, staring at the gates, wondering what truths they held. I thought I understood her. I thought I could find answers. But answers were ghosts, slipping through my fingers. Jane tried to explain, her voice soft, broken. "He was blackmailing me," she said one night, her hands trembling. "He wanted more. Money, favors. I went to his cell to stop him." She swore she didn't touch the shiv, swore she left him alive. But her eyes, her shaking hands, told a story she couldn't. I wanted to believe her, to hold on to the woman I loved. But the doubt was too strong, the pain too raw. I thought I understood her. I thought I could save us. But I was wrong. And soon the truth, or what passed for it, would swallow us whole. Jane's arrest came like a thunderclap, sudden and deafening. The police hauled her in, their questions relentless, their eyes hard with suspicion. Murder. First degree. The headlines screamed, "Iron Lady of Blackwood, Warden charged in inmate's death." The trial was a storm, a whirlwind of whispers and accusations that tore through our small town. I sat in the courtroom, day after day, my hands clenched, my heart heavy. Jane, my Jane, sat at the defendant's table in an orange jumpsuit, her face a mask of defiance and fear, her once proud posture softened by shame. She swore she was innocent, said James Carter had been threatening her, demanding more, money, favors, silence. She'd gone to his cell that night to end it, she claimed, to tell him it was over for good. But someone else got there first, she said. Someone else held the shiv. I wanted to believe her. I thought I understood her. I didn't. The evidence was damning, a weight that crushed her defense. Her fingerprints on a file cabinet near Carter's cell, smudged but undeniable. Security footage showing her in his block that night, her steps quick, her face tense. The affair was no secret anymore. Guards talked, inmates whispered, their voices carrying the scandal like wildfire. The Iron Lady was a cautionary tale now, a warden undone by her own weakness. The prosecution painted her as a woman scorned, driven to kill by betrayal and disease. They said she'd lost control, her pride shattered, her heart poisoned by Carter's lies. Her defense argued she was framed, a victim of Blackwood's dark underbelly, a place where inmates ran schemes and guards turned blind eyes. An inmate with a grudge, they said, a god covering their tracks. But the jury didn't care. The gavel fell, guilty, life without parole. I sat there, frozen, as Jane's eyes met mine, her face stoic but breaking, a silent plea I couldn't answer. I thought I understood her. I thought I could hold on. I was wrong. I visited her in prison, behind glass that felt like a wall between us. She looked smaller, her fire dimmed but not gone, her hands pressed against the barrier as if she could reach me. "I didn't do it, Mark," she'd say, her voice steady, her eyes pleading. "You have to believe me." I wanted to. God, I wanted to. I wanted to see the woman I married, the one who laughed on our porch, who dreamed of kids, who made me feel like I was enough. But the cracks in our trust were too deep, too jagged. Had she killed him? Had she planned it, driven by rage or shame? Or was she just another pawn in Blackwood's game, caught in a web of corruption she couldn't escape? The truth was a ghost, slipping through my fingers. I'd lie awake at night, replaying every moment. Her late nights, her locked phone, that name, J. Carter. I thought I understood her. I didn't. And now, I never would. From the outside, my world had shifted. The man who'd once laughed easily, who'd spent Sundays fixing cars and dreaming of a family, was gone. Friends saw it. My silence, my restless nights, the way I'd flinch at Jane's name. I sold the house, the one with the sagging porch and memories of her. Every creak of the floor, every corner of that place, held her ghost, her laugh, her lies, her betrayal. I couldn't stay. I moved to a cabin by a lake, far from Blackwood's shadow, far from the town that whispered my shame. The plans we had, kids, vacations, a life together, were ghosts now, fading with every box I packed. I worked, I ate, I breathed. But the weight of her betrayal, of the unanswered questions, clung to me like damp air, heavy and unyielding. I thought I understood her. I thought I could move on. But moving on? It's harder than it sounds. I dug deeper, even after the trial. I couldn't let it go. I hired a private investigator with what little savings I had left, desperate for answers. Carter wasn't just a predator. He was a cog in a bigger machine. Rumors swirled of corruption at Blackwood, guards smuggling contraband, inmates running schemes, power plays hidden behind concrete walls. Was Carter's death a hit? A cover-up? My investigator found whispers, a guard with a grudge, an inmate with a debt, a system rotten to its core. But no proof, no names, just shadows, fleeting and untouchable. I sat at my desk, poring over his reports, chasing leads that went nowhere. I understood then. Some truths stay buried, no matter how deep you dig. I thought I understood her. I thought I could find the truth. But the truth was a lie I couldn't catch. Anger still burns sometimes, hot and sharp. I see her face, Jane's, not the Warden's, and I want to scream. Why him? Why us? Why did she let him in? Let him ruin everything? I'd pace the cabin, my fists clenched, my heart racing with the need to make someone pay. But then I'd remember her in that white dress, laughing at our wedding, her eyes bright with promise. The anger would soften, not gone, just quieter, a dull ache instead of a fire. I'm learning to live with the questions, to let go of the need to understand. Jane's in a cell now, her life a different kind of sentence, her strength bent but not broken. Carter's gone, his shadow fading with time. And me? I'm here, piecing together what's left, one day at a time. I visit her sometimes, less often now. She writes letters, short and careful, her words a mix of hope and regret. I'm okay, she writes. I'm managing. She still swears she's innocent, still asks me to believe her. I read her letters by the lake, the water calm, the sky wide. I don't know if I believe her. I don't know if I need to. Understanding her was my anchor, my cage, letting go of that need. It's not freedom, not yet, but it's close. I thought I understood her. I thought love could survive anything. But love? It's a fragile thing, and ours is a scar now, a mark I carry as I rebuild. It's been 2 years since James Carter's death. 2 years since the world I knew crumbled under the weight of Jane's betrayal and the mystery of a murder that still haunts me. Jane writes me letters from her cell, short and careful, her words like fragile threads reaching across the distance. She's managing, she says. Her health is stable, her HIV kept in check by pills and routine. Her spirit, she claims, is unbroken, though I can hear the cracks in her words, the weight of a life sentence pressing down. She still swears she's innocent, still begs me to believe she didn't hold the shiv that killed Carter. I read her letters by the lake near my cabin, the water calm, the sky wide and open. I don't know if I believe her. I don't know if I need to. Understanding her was my anchor, my cage, for so long. Letting go of that need. It's not freedom, not yet. But it's something close, a lightness I'm learning to carry. I thought I understood her. I didn't, but I'm starting to understand myself. The cabin's home now, a small place with weathered walls and a view of the lake that changes with the seasons. I moved here after selling our old house, the one with the sagging porch and memories of Jane that cut too deep. I couldn't stay there, surrounded by the ghosts of our dreams. Kids we never had, vacations we never took, a life we never lived. I fix cars at a shop in town, my hands still stained with grease, my days steady if not simple. I take walks along the lake, Watch the sunset paint the water gold, and let the quiet fill the spaces where anger used to live. The pain's still there, a quiet ache that flares when I read her letters or catch a glimpse of her handwriting. But so is hope. Not for us, maybe. Not for the life we planned, but for me. For a life I can't yet see, but one I'm starting to build, one step at a time. I thought I understood her. I thought love could hold us together. I was wrong. I used to lie awake at night, replaying it all. Her late nights, her locked phone, the name J. Carter burning in my mind. I'd see her in that hospital bed, hear the doctor's words, feel the truth of her affair cut through me like a blade. I'd imagine Carter, his smirk, his lies, and wonder if she'd killed him, if her hands had held that shiv. The questions consumed me, drove me to Blackwood's gates, to files and whispers that led nowhere. But now, the questions are softer, less urgent. I've learned to live with them, to let them sit unanswered. Jane's in a cell, her life a different kind of sentence. Carter's gone, his shadow fading with time. And me? I'm here, breathing, moving forward. I thought I understood her. I thought I needed answers. But answers are ghosts, and I'm tired of chasing them. I think about her sometimes, the Jane I married. The woman in the white dress, laughing at our wedding, her eyes bright with promise. I loved her then, with everything I had. Part of me always will. But love isn't enough to hold a life together. Truth, trust, understanding. They're fragile things, and ours shattered long ago. I'd sit by the lake, her letters in my hand, and wonder what might have been if she'd never met Carter, if Blackwood hadn't swallowed her whole. But wondering doesn't change the past. It doesn't heal the scars. Betrayal is a wound that never fully heals. It scars you, shapes you, but it doesn't have to break you. I'm learning that now. I thought I understood her. I didn't, but I'm starting to understand what it means to survive. The town has moved on. The headlines about the Iron Lady have faded, replaced by new scandals, new stories. I don't talk about Jane anymore. Not to friends, not to co-workers. They don't ask, and I'm grateful for it. The cabin is my refuge, a place where I can be alone with my thoughts, where the lake reflects the sky and reminds me that life keeps going, even after it falls apart. I've started small things, a garden out back, a bookshelf I built myself. They're not much, but they're mine. They're proof I'm still here, still building, still alive. I thought I understood her. I thought our life was enough. But life? It's bigger than one person. One love, one loss. Jane's letters come less often now. She writes about her days, the routine of prison life, the small victories of keeping her health stable. She still swears she's innocent, still asks me to believe her. I read her words and feel the ache, but it's different now. Not sharp, not raw. I don't write back as much as I used to, not because I don't care, but because I'm learning to let go. Not of her, not completely, but of the need to know, to understand, to fix what can't be fixed. I thought I understood her. I thought I could save us. But saving myself, that's the work now. The work I'm doing every day. I walk to the lake most mornings, watch the mist rise off the water, listen to the world wake up. There's a quiet strength in it, a reminder that time moves forward, even when you're stuck. I think about the man I was. Mark, the mechanic, the husband, the one who thought he understood his wife. That man's gone, but I'm not mourning him anymore. I'm someone else now, someone who's learning to live with the scars, to find peace in the questions. I don't know if Jane killed Carter. I don't know if she's telling the truth. And maybe that's okay. Maybe the truth isn't what I need anymore. I thought I understood her. I didn't. But I'm starting to understand what it means to let go. Betrayal changes you. It cuts deep, leaves marks you can't erase, but it doesn't have to define you. I loved Jane, and part of me always will. Her laugh, her fire, the way she made me feel alive. But love isn't enough to rebuild what's broken. Trust, truth, understanding. They're fragile things, and when they're gone, you have to find something else to hold on to. For me, it's the lake, the cabin, the quiet moments when I feel the ache but keep going. I'm moving forward, one step at a time, toward a life I can't yet see but know is there. I thought I understood her. I thought I needed her to be whole. but I'm learning to be whole on my own.